Oh, that's a new one. You've been working on that one?
Yeah, thought I'd, we're like 15 episodes in now or something, I thought I'd
change it up a bit.
Yeah.
Wow, the listeners won't know what's happening.
Nah. So we're back for more. Back to talk about something we know about today.
Yes, and I think I say this every episode, that this is probably the most requested question we get, but today I actually mean it.
Yeah.
Some variation. It's either most requested, most exciting, most interesting.
Yeah. This is, I'll probably say it again next week, but this is probably one of the biggest questions that we get all the time, and it is, how is protein powder made?
Yeah.
So we thought we'd just address it via a podcast. It's easier just to sit down and talk about rather than read some boring 20-page document.
Yeah. How is protein powder made? A lot of people don't even know what protein powder is or where it comes from.
I reckon I went for years using protein powder before even knowing like what it's even made out of. Back in the day, back in the 40s when I was a kid.
Yeah. Well, that's the world we live in today. People don't question where the food comes from or anything like that. Some people, I saw some survey in America that like 70% of people think chocolate milk comes from brown cows.
I saw that one.
Where does it come from then?
Well, maybe we can find out some answers where chocolate flavored whey protein comes out.
That is bizarre, but it makes you think, like, why aren't people questioning what they're putting in their body?
Yeah.
It's probably, everyone should do a bit of research and how a protein powder is made. We'll probably go in a bit more depth later, but there's a big difference on different types of protein powders as well and where they come from. And
yeah, indeed. So let's talk about my favorite type of protein, and it's not my favorite for any particular reason, but it is the best form of protein by most of the biological scores that we have.
Can we guess?
Take a guess. It won't be hard.
Does it begin with W?
Yes.
Does it rhyme with tray?
Whey protein?
Correct. Yes.
Well,
and not Musashi the whey. I've talking about Whey, whey.
So this is a question. A lot of people don't even know what protein powder is derived from. Like, I've heard people saying, it's just, chemicals made in a lab.
Yeah.
No. Dummies.
Yes.
It's actually derived from a food source.
Yes. And
I don't mean to call you dummies.
Yeah.
But you're dummies.
Yeah, but, some people just cluelessly drinking whey thinking it's some kind of magic elixir, but, I
know. So where does whey or what protein come from?
Whey protein comes from milk.
Wow.
Yeah. So you'd be surprised that a lot of people don't even make this connection. And,
I know.
It's actually a byproduct of the cheese industry.
So through the production of cheese, which obviously comes from milk,
yep, we
then get a byproduct called
whey protein. So if you've ever left a glass of milk out, I'm sure Hal's probably leaving a glass of milk out for Santa pretty soon. But if you ever if you leave a glass of milk out and you forget about it, over time it'll separate and you'll see this like clear liquid at the bottom and this like yogurty looking thing at the top.
Is that the curds in the whey?
You see it in
yes, it's the curds in the whey. So Hal's pretty fresh with the nursery rhymes.
Yeah, just singing them last week as he graduated preschool.
I can't go to sleep without playing a little recorder.
Is it the same stuff that you see on like when you open a yogurt up and you see that sort of liquidy, yellowy liquid on top?
Exactly. So that liquid is whey. So whey is the water-soluble protein from milk.
Right.
Yeah, but whey is not actually the most abundant protein in milk.
What is?
Casein. So milk is actually, because all the protein in milk, about 80% is casein protein and about only 20% is whey protein.
Right. And we'll go into the different types of protein and possibly what you use those different types for. So you've got the milk, they're making the cheese.
Wait, there's one step before you make the cheese. You have to pasteurize the milk.
Right.
So pasteurization is what makes, what stops the bacteria from going out of control in the milk, right? Mm-hmm. And what pasteurization is where they heat the milk to a pretty high temperature, something in the 70 degrees.
Yep.
And then instantly cool it down to about 4 degrees, right? And that's enough to kill most of the bacteria in the milk, but also leave, the important things still alive. So if you ever seen like pasteurized milk, that's exactly what's happening.
Right, and you have to.
Yeah. So
you have to pasteurize it.
Yeah. Well, people do drink, raw milk straight from a cow, and that's,
Yuck.
Disgusting.
You need to question your life choices.
Have you ever done it?
I have, actually. I've had... We went to...
question your life choice.
Actually, taking some kids to like a farm where they can milk the cow, and then they let you actually have a sip of the sweet, warm cow milk.
Yeah, it tastes quite different. It is a bit sweet, but
It's so different to what you get on your shelf. It makes me question, like, what is actually that end product on the shelf?
Yeah, but so after we pasteurize this milk, because if you drinking milk straight from a cow, there's some risk of bacteria and things like that.
Of course. So you want to eliminate that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and when I mean straight from the cow, I don't mean straight from the cow. I mean like,
yeah.
imagine the first person to drink milk from a cow.
100% people would have done that back in the day.
But imagine the very first guy is like, I wonder what's in those others.
Well, I think they may have seen a calf drinking from it and thinking maybe I could do the same.
But why cows? There's so many other mammals that produce milk.
We drink milk out of everything, don't we?
Yeah,
Goats.
well, now we do. What?
Are you saying you probably tried the same thing with a different animal and it wasn't quite the same
yeah.
result?
You can milk a pig.
Well, it makes sense that we would probably drink human milk first,
Yeah.
which we do as a baby.
Yes.
Yeah. I've tried human milk as an adult.
Yeah. Have you watched Mad Max?
What? When you have your kids, you have a little sip. It's pretty gross. It actually doesn't taste that gross. When you have kids one day, you'll understand. Like, I think every dad does it.
Hal still.
Do you know what's in that stuff, mate? The growth hormone. Like, I was
Yeah,
like,
actually,
HGH.
yeah.
milk is the most anabolic thing. It's like
And
growing
breast milk from the mother.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway,
What do you think? It grows so much.
We're
Yeah,
getting off topic. So,
Well,
milk
not really. We're talking about the source of milk.
Yes. So
Yes.
many sources,
Yep.
but specifically we're talking about dairy milk from a cow.
Yep.
So it gets pasteurized, it gets transported nice and cool to this cheese production facility or dairy processing plant. Let's call it that.
Yep.
And then now this is where they separate the curds from the whey, to make cheese. So how they do this is through by adding an enzyme to milk. This enzyme triggers this process of separating the curds and the whey. Right? It speeds up the process of, if you left it on your counter.
Yep.
That'll take a few days because there's some enzymes in milk that are making that process happen. But if you add this specific enzyme called chymosin to the milk, which is what they do in this processing, is it speeds up the process. So you end up with this big solid fraction and liquid fraction. Liquid fraction comes to whey protein. Solid fraction has gone to cheese production.
So it starts as a liquid.
Yeah.
How do they? So they extract that liquid. We're left with sort of pure whey.
Yep.
Liquid.
Pure whey liquid.
And then that needs to be turned into sort of powder form.
Yes, but often whey was originally thought of as just a waste product of cheese industry because cheese has been around for a long time, and it's only really in modern times that whey's really been considered a beneficial thing to use. And a good analogy is energy drinks.
Right.
So when energy drinks were invented, decaf coffee was a massive thing. So
what's the point of that? Decaf coffee.
Tasty.
Another group of people that need to question their life choices.
Yeah.
What if
Well,
you like
you know,
espresso
drink-
martinis, but you don't want to be up all
some
night?
people are sensitive to caffeine, whatever, right? So this guy they used to throw away this caffeine extract from decaf coffee. This one guy had an idea. He's like, what if you sweeten this thing and carbonate it in a little bit? Next thing, energy drinks were created, right? And now guess what?
What?
Decaf coffee is the waste product of the energy drink industry because caffeine is more valuable than the decaf coffee.
And that's probably exactly what's happened with cheese and whey.
Yes.
I remember at one point, the prices of whey have gone up so much in the last, 15 years that I've been in this industry.
And that's because the demand for whey has been crazy.
Demand's huge. So yeah, it's like liquid gold, this whey liquid.
Yeah. Well, cheese isn't going anywhere anytime soon, but whey is definitely becoming not just a byproduct, but a valuable, product of this process. So, next step, after it's separated, it needs to be filtered, right? So, it goes through something called microfiltration, which is really just some membranes, right? So, they pass this, unfiltered whey, which is just, separated now. It goes through this filtration process. After being microfiltered, it gets turned into whey protein concentrate.
Mm-hmm. Still in liquid form?
Yep, still in liquid form. If it's going into whey protein isolate, it goes through some additional filtration steps, and there's a few different ways that you can get whey protein isolate.
Do you think one is superior to the other? Concentrate to isolate?
Well, let's talk about like what if you are going through those additional...
Yes and no, but yeah.
If you are going through those additional steps,
Yeah.
from whey protein concentrate to whey protein isolate, what is it removing?
Yeah, so every additional step of filtration or purification has, a purpose. So in terms of whey protein isolate, it's removing even more fats and carbs and sugars from the whey.
So you're left with a more concentrated whey protein at the end of it.
Yeah, so a lot of people aren't even familiar with these terms, concentrate and isolate, but a lot of the whey proteins on the market are, majority concentrate and, some of them is isolate. So there's pros and cons to both. Concentrate, because it's only going through this initial filtration step, it still has a lot of the peptides, a lot of
bioactive... and
Exactly, a lot of bioactive peptides still in the whey. And these peptides have, some good beneficial effects for your immunity, for your digestion, for your muscle building and everything like that, right?
Yep.
But because it's only going through this initial step, it's still only about 80% proteins. It still has a bit of fat, a bit of carbs, a little bit of lactose in there, right?
Tiny bit of carbs, tiny bit of fat. Like it's small amounts in the grand scheme of things.
Exactly, a very small amount. But if you want to take it even further into 90 to 95% purity, so 90 to 95% protein, that's when it goes through some of these additional filtration processes like, ultrafiltration, so even smaller membranes, or something like ion exchange filtration where it passes through, a column, let's call it, and the charged particles, different things have different charges. We're talking about, electrons and things. They react to this ion exchange column. So it separates the charged particles out and filters it even more. So whey protein isolate, by the time you get to the whey protein isolate, there's not many of these peptides and these other beneficial things in there that you'll have in a whey protein concentrate. But it's going to be super low in carbs, sugar, and fat. So there's pros and cons to each, but obviously going through the second processing step, whey protein isolate is a bit more expensive than whey protein concentrate. And
it definitely affects the sort of the flavor, the taste, and how it feels in the mouth. I know a lot of people enjoy whey protein concentrate more than isolate. Isolate's a little bit more bitter. It's harder to sort of get the taste right.
Yeah, and it's a bit more like foamy when you mix it up, but
it digests quicker. So it might be more beneficial sort of around training time. It's not that much quicker. Like and this is what there was this phase where people were buying, like only wanting whey protein isolate because it digests quicker than whey protein.
30-second anabolic window.
Yeah, 30 second. Yeah, but the difference in digestion rate is negligible as far as results on recovery or muscle growth. And we've covered this in previous podcasts. It's sort of what you do throughout the whole day or the whole week even that has an impact on that. I mean, something that digests 10 minutes quicker than something else is...
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to have
in the grand
impact.
scheme, it's like pouring some water in the ocean. So
yeah.
But some people are very strict on their diet and very, very controlled. So whey protein isolate does have a place to play.
Well, the only reason I would recommend isolate to people is, around training time, but more so for people that might be sort of lactose intolerant.
Exactly.
A lot of that lactose is removed through those extra...
It's virtually zero lactose in whey protein isolate. And whey protein concentrate does have a little bit of lactose. Not that, lactose is a bad thing. It's just the sugar that's most commonly found in milk.
And look, a lot of the proteins out there, the most popular ones these days, they're a blend of both. They're a blend of isolate and concentrate. So they can be used around training time, or you can use them throughout the day whenever you need the protein top up. And they've got the advantages of both. They're not just sort of one or the other. I think gone are the days where people are just buying straight isolates, and that's evident. There's not many of them on the market anymore for that reason.
Yeah,
people
exactly.
Just weren't buying them.
And, I think a big thing that was the demise of whey protein isolate is probably the taste,
the cost.
The taste and the price, yeah.
So much more expensive.
Yeah, so, it probably outweighs some of the benefits you're getting. But, if you are lactose sensitive, then that's probably a good option for you. But there are other options out there.
Mm-hmm.
So
whey protein concentrate, extra filtration to get to the isolate. We're still at this liquid form. How do they?
Yeah.
Do they freeze dry it, or what do they do?
Yeah. So the next stage is actually spray drying.
Yep.
So
there's different ways of drying it, though, isn't there? There's a few different depending on. Is it always spray dried?
Usually it would be spray drying. Right. So spray drying is basically they spray this liquid into a tank which has a temperature gradient in it. So it'll be hotter and colder at different, colder at the bottom, hotter at the top. And this interaction of hot and cold actually causes a lot of the moisture to be removed from the whey.
Right.
So this moisture gets removed and leaves this nice powdery particles behind.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the spray drying process.
Right.
And it's nothing too magical. And, in fact, whey protein concentrate, you could argue that it's not really a heavily processed food because, it's just gone through this membrane filter and it's just been spray dried. So it's still very much it's close to its natural form.
Yeah, well, you're basically taking a liquid that exists within milk.
Yeah, separating out.
Separating it and then drying it.
Yeah, exactly. But whey protein isolate, some of these filtration methods do involve some chemical processing. So to get it to this further process level, there are some chemicals added in whey protein isolates.
Isolate, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's probably a reason I'm a fan of the concentrates over isolates, but
yeah, and it's quite hard to get that purity just through all natural processes by itself. So concentrate more natural, more together, isolate more pure, more processed.
Yeah. So rewinding back to sort of the beginning step, milk.
Yeah.
Does it make a difference where this milk comes from?
Yeah, it does. So different cows in different parts of the world eat different food.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of our protein is New Zealand whey protein.
Yep.
Not all of it, but we make our protein in New Zealand. We make our finished products in New Zealand. So the majority of our whey does come from New Zealand at the moment. And New Zealand cows tend to eat grass for most of the year. We can't claim it's 100% grass fed because people that claim 100% grass fed means that if grass is not available, you can't feed these cows anything else. You literally have to make these cows starve. Yep. So we have New Zealand whey does have some supplementary feed in the diet too.
Yeah, they generally don't need to because of the climate over there, and
exactly. So
the grass is abundant over there. They're so good
because it rains all the time.
Yeah, because it rains all the time. But yeah, they're actually really good at rotating the cows through different pastures as well. There's a lot of places that'll just sort of sit them in the same pasture, and it's degrading the soil. And New Zealand dairy industry is like the biggest and the best in the world, so it's got a really good reputation.
Yeah. Maybe not the biggest, but one of the biggest exporters in the world.
Yeah.
And it's also hormone-free growth and growth hormone-free and all these other things that
tight regulations on the dairy industry in New Zealand.
Very tight regulations, but there are very very good quality whey proteins from all around the world.
Yeah, definitely.
So and having said that, we don't use exclusively New Zealand whey. So
majority.
Yeah.
So you're left with this powder. Then what happens? So you're left with like just a pure plain whey powder.
Yeah.
Then what?
Then what? Then we get it into our plant. We buy this raw material. We buy concentrate. We buy isolate.
Yep.
So we don't do the processing ourselves. We have very close relationships with our suppliers.
Not many none, I would say.
Yeah, I wouldn't. There aren't very many at all that are vertically integrated from a cow to a finished product.
Yeah.
So but we do have very close relationships with our whey protein suppliers. And,
yep.
We get this raw material into our plant, and we do a few things with it.
We can add aminos, we can add carbohydrates, we add good fats. There's depending on the product, obviously the flavors.
Yeah, but before we get to that step, a couple of quick fun facts.
Okay, hit us.
Are you ready?
Let's see how fun they really are.
Okay, to produce 1 kilogram of pure whey protein powder, the raw material, how many liters of milk do you think it takes?
5,000.
5,000.
So sorry, what was the
1 kilogram of whey protein powder? How many liters of milk?
I'm going to say 100.
50.
200 liters. Yeah.
1 kilogram of whey.
It really is liquid gold.
Yeah. Okay, but 100 liters of milk produces how much cheese?
200 kilograms.
How can you get 200 kilograms from 100 liters?
Man, I don't know.
Back to uni for
Where'd
you.
you find this guy?
I don't know.
Hide this bloke.
100 litres, how much cheese? One block of your finest Mersey Valley crumbly edition. I don't know.
No, about 12 kilos of cheese. But it depends on type of cheese.
So you're getting a lot more cheese and a lot less whey protein.
Yeah.
But you get both, don't you?
Yeah.
You get both.
Yeah.
Yep.
But and then what's the remainder? Is there anything left over at the end?
Well, there's all other stuff in milk, right? By the time I'm talking 1 kilogram of powder.
All the other stuff left over, that's all of our competitor brands. What are you?
But there's a lot of water in milk, right? So by the time it gets from 200 liters to 1 kilogram of powder, is a lot of water being removed. So.
Fair enough. Do you know what they do with that water?
They drink it. What do you want it?
Yeah.
You want to bottle it?
I want a bath.
Well, actually, a funny story. We they actually
funny story. I've actually bathed in whey liquid.
No, actually, they use it for a whole bunch of things, and you know, a lot of dairy producers actually try to minimize waste and utilize things for production of alcohol and things like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. You brought up alcohol around this drunk over here. All right, so we've established how whey protein is pretty much made in a quick nutshell.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add to that process?
Well, so you know, we don't only use whey protein, right? We also get other forms of protein. So you know, pea protein, for example. So we use pea protein isolate in our plant protein.
Pea, brown rice, chia.
Well, hemp and chia, depending depending when you bought it.
Yeah.
You know, we're removing the hemp so we can get it Informed Sport certified at the moment. But so pea protein, you know, this is extracted from peas in a kind of a similar way to how protein's extracted from milk.
It's
right?
milked.
Yeah, you milk it like a cow.
Yeah.
No.
Peas ain't got no ditties. Like
That one I will not forget.
So meet the parents. Anyway, so you know, pea protein isolate is actually the byproduct of
Peas?
pea flour.
Pea flour. There
So-
you go. Pea flour is the cheese.
Is that flour that's just made from peas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baking.
Yeah.
What on earth?
So what they basically, so they get pretty good at utilising all the byproducts of everything these days.
Yeah,
Nothing's
exactly.
going to
Good
waste.
hear. I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear that.
Yeah, nothing goes to waste. So anyway, we could dive into a whole bunch of raw materials, but basically, you know, we get this protein, whether it's whey, whether it's pea, whether it's brown rice protein, whatever.
Yep.
We get it into our plant. Guess what's next?
We test it to
We
make
test
sure
it.
that it meets.
Exactly. So we have some tight
Specs.
specifications to make sure you know, it meets all of these specs. But then when we're ready to produce, it's pretty straightforward. So basically, we get this whey, we put it through a filter. So everything that goes into our big blender, think of it like a big drum, right? Kind of. It's holds about 1.3 tons. It goes through a big filter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a mesh, to make sure nothing foreign gets in. So you know.
It's like a big sieve.
Yeah, it's literally a big sieve. So basically, you know, nothing else can get into there when ingredients are being added. So the protein goes in, and then all the other things that we add to it go in. So, you know, we add a few other things like the flavors, the sweeteners,
Yep.
all these other goodies, digestive enzymes like pepin to help you digest it better.
Yep.
Um,
So then that goes into what? A giant sieve, and it's sort of gone into like this mixing or blending process.
Exactly. So then it's blended through a special blending process.
Fun fact for you.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I actually had the opportunity to go and see. I don't think this brand is around anymore, but it was this real low level sort of backyard protein brand. This is when I was first back in the industry. No. It was basically, I rocked up to a factory bay out in the middle of, I won't say where because it'll probably give it away. And it was, they had these cement mixers.
No.
Yes. Where like a couple of guys were emptying bags of just raw whey protein from, yep. And then they were rotating these cement mixers and then adding their flavouring and everything into that. There was no mask. There was no.
That's disgusting.
Wow.
But that was their blending process.
Yeah.
I remember like you'd get one batch would be like super strong in the flavour, and then you go buy the next batch and it'll have next to no flavour, and think, what is going on?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some cowboy operators out there because
I'm
it's
expecting the delivery truck was just like a big cement mixer.
Yeah.
on the road.
terrible. And then after it's mixed, they were getting shovels
No.
and shoveling it into buckets that sat on a scale.
Wow.
That's some Breaking Bad stuff, right?
Mate, I wouldn't be surprised if that shit still happens these days.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all. A
Definitely not
lot
with
of
us.
cowboys out there. But yeah, no. So we've got this nice high-tech manufacturing facility in East Auckland, East Tamaki, New Zealand.
I was blown away when I first saw that facility.
Yeah.
When I was sort of new to the industry, you know, you have these sort of preconceived ideas of how it's made. You walk into the facility, I was blown away. I still am. Every time I go there, it's just, I can't
You
believe.
need
Like,
to fly me over to see it sometime.
no, mate. How are you going to fit in a plane seat at your height?
Oh, true.
You might be all right at the moment.
Yeah, kids'
No
tickets.
one's first class. All right. And then we package it up.
Yeah. So we had to. No, well, there's a few steps before that. So,
okay.
We get these flavors. We get our flavors from some very good flavor houses. So we have good relationships with the whey protein suppliers. We have very good relationships with our flavor suppliers too.
Mm-hmm.
So, these are the same flavors. These flavor houses are making flavors for, some of your favorite chocolates, your favorite biscuits, your favorite ice creams. So we're getting these same high quality flavors and adding it to our.
And you've got options between natural, artificial flavors. Like there's a whole. When we talk flavors, there's literally thousands of different flavors to varying degrees, and either natural versions, artificial there's everything.
Yeah, exactly. And
they can pretty much replicate any flavor that you want.
Exactly. And when you ask somebody, do you like vanilla? Well, vanilla is such a complicated flavor,
I know. There's so many different vanillas.
So many different vanillas. And, most of our protein comes in two variants, right? Either chocolate milkshake or vanilla milkshake. Because
they're the two most popular flavors.
Exactly.
But you look at what we've done with our deluxe range recently. We've been able to replicate jam donut flavor.
Yeah, choc peanut butter.
Tiramisu. You can replicate all your favorite dessert flavors as well. But most people are buying chocolate and vanilla, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Mixing it in with either smoothies or...
Let us know if you have any suggestions for flavors.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Keen to rotate those sort of deluxe flavors around and see what's next.
Yeah, and we've got quite a good reputation at Musashi for having the best tasting protein. So.
That's what we're known for.
Yeah, and I'm a chocolate guy.
Sounds like an ad now.
What else? It is sounding like a bit of an ad.
Dhiren's a peanut butter.
So
Dhiren's a peanut. I thought you were just going to leave it at that.
So the next step is to put this blended powder, which is nice and uniformly blended, into some tubs.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we've got our tubs specially designed. We've got a scoop hanging inside.
Yeah, that's probably... a lot of people don't even really understand what I'm talking about with the scoops, and this sounds like an ad again.
Yeah.
This is probably my biggest pet peeve when I first started buying proteins, is trying to dig in and look for the scoop. It's right there. It's on a hook.
Yeah.
On the inside of the tub, so you don't have to dig your dirty hands in looking for the scoop. I love that.
Back in the day, I used to wash my hands, make sure every drop of moisture is dried off.
Yeah.
Normal people would just use a fork and fish it up, but
yeah. So yeah, specially designed tubs. They all run on the line. Put the powder in.
Yeah, exactly. So we actually have 2 weeks in our plant: a white week and a brown week.
Do we?
Not for you and me, but for vanilla, vanilla and chocolate, right?
Well, that's you and me.
Yeah. So 1 week.
Hal's more vanilla. I'm caramel.
I'm plain vanilla kind of bloke.
Yeah. Start of summer, I'm milk chocolate. End of summer, I'm dark chocolate.
So we do runs on flavors to a...
Yeah, exactly. So, just to optimize our manufacturing and, make sure we don't put any brown powder in a white powder tub. But yeah, it's very, very strict controls in our process.
Mixed race powder.
Yeah.
This joke is going to go too far.
Yeah. And look, why this is the biggest thing. A lot of people's like, I keep bringing this up. Why do we even need protein powders? Why don't we just have it from food? Again, it's ease, it's convenience, digestibility, cost.
Yeah.
Use around training time for those reasons.
I saw a good Instagram post this week by one of the leading nutritionists in the world, and he was like, although he always advocates a food first approach, whey protein is one of the greatest nutritional inventions of the 20th century. Cheaper, best quality protein.
By far.
Yeah. Easy to digest, easy to incorporate into your diet. Ticks all the boxes.
Yeah, it does. And it's still derived from our food source.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest misconception that people have, and that's why we wanted to sort of clear it up and explain it today. It's still derived from milk. Basically removing a lot of the crap from milk that people don't want, or maybe they do want.
The definition is in the name. It's supplementary. You're not meant to have it.
Exactly.
So you don't live on it.
Yeah.
But around training time.
Exactly. It's a supplement to
it's a sport.
Your key diet.
Exactly.
Like we always say, please continue eating normal food like a normal person. But whey protein does have a good role. So once you put the powder in the tub, we've designed these tubs ourselves. It was a pretty fun process.
It was.
A few iterations to get to our cool design of where it is now. But then it goes to a metal detector, right? So we've got a metal detector on the line to make sure no foreign stuff makes its way in there.
Mm-hmm.
No screws falling off the machines into our tubs.
That whole process, there's barely any people in that whole process as well.
Well, there's a few.
There's a few, but it's not like I was just describing some guy coughing all over powder with a shovel into a cement mixer. Like, you go into the facility, I was actually surprised how much of it is just automated. A lot of people in the facility obviously working. We're not saying replace labour with machines.
No, plenty of people running the machines, but
it's a clean process.
It's not quite as hands-on as you might have imagined.
Yeah, it's very much very clean. Like the
no shovels in our plant.
No, the element of error is very minor because of it.
Exactly. So, once the powder's in here and we put the label on it, if the metal detector goes off, or if there's even bubbles on the label, it'll get rejected. And, we've got very high quality control
if the
standards.
weights are slightly out,
exactly.
There's a lot of checks in place.
Yep. So, next step, it gets tested. So it gets tested by our lab against, our specification or whatever we set. It gets tested to make sure the flavor's right. It gets tested to make sure that what we say is in it, it's in it.
Meets label claim.
Exactly. And, everything with the Informed Sport logo now, at this point, will get sent to the UK. So every single batch that we make of any Informed Sport tested product.
The whole tub doesn't... A sample from that batch gets sent to the UK.
Yeah.
Which is basically assuring that batch meets the standards of no banned substances, yeah?
Exactly.
We're not sending every tub over there.
Yeah.
But I had that question too.
Yeah, so we send samples, but they also do actually purchase random tubs off the shelf to test it. So it's every batch plus random samples that gets tested.
Mm-hmm.
So
it gets tested by us, then by them.
Yeah, and we can't release it for sale until we get these test results back from them. So
so we're ever out of stock.
Yeah, it creates.
That's why. Leave us alone.
Some supply chain havoc sometimes, but it's because we want to guarantee that what we say is in there is in there, and by doing this in every single batch, you actually build up a nice testing history on our products. So.
And you can check every one of our batches on our Informed Sport certified products on the Informed Sport site.
Yeah.
And we've got a link off our own website as well. So you can actually marry it up with the batch that you've got, and it'll give you a certification that it doesn't contain any banned substances.
Yeah, even
Pretty
on the Asada Clean Sport app. So if you're an athlete, you can just check it out there.
Yep. You can pretty much trace our products all the way back to the cow. I've met a few of our cows.
Yeah, great.
Happy looking, big fat cows like you, Hal. Big.
I thought you were calling me a cow.
Yeah, big happy fat cow.
We have one as an intern.
What else happens then, Dhiren?
Yeah, so then then it's sealed and sent from our facility in Auckland to our warehouse in Melbourne, or to wherever else in the world we might be selling it. So we're not just, although we're mainly in Australia and New Zealand, we do have a bit of a presence in other parts of the world too.
So that's how whey protein is made.
That's how whey protein is made from cow to in your hands. It gets all the way from our warehouse into our table in our podcast right here.
You got any questions, Hal? Being fairly new to the industry, have you got any other burning questions about how it's made or what goes into the process?
Not particularly. I know we're going to do a follow-up episode on the different kind of sweeteners, which ones are good and bad.
Another big question we always get.
Do we have any access to videos that we could post showing how the machines actually work? Is that something we can get our hands on?
Yeah, we can have a look and put it up on our website or something.
Yeah,
sure.
like you mean in our facility or how whey is made at the dairy facilities?
Either one.
Yeah, we got heaps of stuff like that.
Yeah.
We can post that. It's probably interesting. People probably want to see that.
Yeah,
I'll get
see
my
somebody
hands on
milking
that
a cow.
Yeah, we should send you out there. We should send you out there.
Oh, yes.
To milk some cows.
Yeah, I'll do it.
And you can drink the final product
No, thanks.
of your cow. Oh, you don't? Yeah, you're a plant guy, aren't
The
you?
initial product, I thought you meant... No, I don't know. I don't mind drinking whey, but I'm more of a plant man myself.
Yeah. How many shakes a day do you have, Hal?
4.
Why 4? That's too many.
No, it's okay. So remember, minimum protein you should probably try and hit is 1.2 grams per kilogram body weight per day.
Yep.
If you're an athlete, you should try and hit about 2 to 2.2 grams per kilogram body weight per day.
Yep.
If you're a strength athlete, maybe even a little bit more.
I'm a 100-kilogram athlete.
There you go.
You
I
need
get very hungry.
Yes, you need like
You
2.
do. You're
But-
still a growing boy too, so I get it.
Yeah, about 200 grams of protein per day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hit that probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many do you have a day? Couple?
Yeah, about 200 grams, which is a bit more on grams per kilograms.
How many shakes a day do you
Oh,
have?
about 3 shakes a day.
3 shakes a day.
Yeah.
What about you, Ross?
I'm a 2 man. I'm a 2 a day.
Yeah, 2 to 3. 3 on training days.
It depends. It depends as well. Like if
Why
I've
you-
got meals prepared and I'm all sorted, then it might be less.
Yeah.
That's
No,
why I can only see you through the binoculars.
Because I work so hard, I like to use smoothies. As you know, you'll find me at my desk just grinding away most of the time. And
Yeah, you smash down a huge NutriBullet at least daily, don't you?
yeah, I like to mix in a bit of plant protein, bit of whey protein, and then I put in a whole heap of like veggies
Well, that's a
and
difference.
mixed
I just have
berries
a
and
straight shake.
yeah, yep. But that's because I'm busy. Like that's a morning tea and afternoon tea thing. But otherwise, I'd be sort of trying to prepare meals. But as I get older, I'm not as hungry for some reason. Don't know. It must be like an old thing.
maybe. I'm hungry all the time. I'm hungry all the time, so I can't relate.
All right, we've covered that. How whey protein is made. There we go. We've answered your question. If you do have any other questions like that, submit them to podcast@musashi.com or just hit us up at
On Instagram.
on
We've
Instagram.
been getting most of our questions on Instagram recently, so I think that's
There you go. Instagram.
Slide into the DMs.
Slide into Hal's DMs on Instagram. Musashi Nutrition on Instagram.
Yeah.
Lovely. We have some sports news.
Sports news, far
go.
away.
Excellent.
Heaps happening in sports.
First and foremost, and I'm very excited about this, the NBA will return on December 22, just in time for Chrissy.
Yeah. And LeBron is missing the first month.
Rumor has it.
Rumor has it LeBron's taking a month off because he's a bit older now, so he's trying to prolong his career.
Load management.
How old is he?
36.
36.
What?
He's old.
That's old.
That's really
That's old.
He's like the third, fourth oldest player in the NBA, and he just won Finals MVP.
Mate, that's ridiculous.
He gets
Yoel Romero's in his 40s. Randy Couture fought until his 40s.
I'd like to see
at these
Yoel
guys.
Romero dunk on somebody in
He
the
probably
playoffs.
could.
He probably could.
He's so
Bad
athletic.
example.
this man has had something like a 70-day off season. That's ridiculous. That's
Yeah.
nothing. Shortest in sports history.
It's because of COVID. The end
I
of the
know.
previous season got pushed.
Yeah,
quite a
so
bit.
he still wants a break because he's rich and he can make these calls.
and also because it'll better his season. He'll be able to perform like
What about the other players that want a break? Do they just get to say, I want the first month off as well?
Well, the Lakers are strong enough to hopefully not lose all their games in the first month without him.
The Lakers are one of the only two teams who've even played this far. Every other team got knocked
I
out.
guess when you're that good, you earn the privilege for those sorts of things, while the young guys have to carry the shit.
So a few quick dates.
not even-
Draft is on November 18th.
Speaking of young guys, all the best young talent getting drafted into the NBA this week. So
Any Australian talent that we should watch out for?
No, none Australian, but LaMelo Ball has been playing in Australia for Illawarra Hawks. Recently bought part of the franchise as well.
That's right.
yeah, so like to see how he goes in the draft.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So draft is on November 8th. Free agency can commence on November 20th and signings November 22nd. It'll be a 72-game season.
What are the biggest movers and shakers in the free agency?
A lot of rumors are out at the moment, but Anthony
Yeah.
Davis is a free agent. Most likely going to re-sign with the Lakers, though.
They'll throw some big money at
Yeah,
him, yeah.
maybe some DeMar DeRozan might go to the Lakers. Who
But
knows?
Most of these names aren't free agents. They're trade options.
Yeah.
Trade options,
So
right.
the largest free agents like Victor Oladipo, I'm fairly sure.
Yeah.
So when's the draft?
This
2
week.
days.
Fuck, we should do like a live podcast.
We could. I don't know. Yeah, it'll be online. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do like just a commentary.
we could.
Yep.
Interesting.
Could be fun.
What else you got?
Next.
So Cameron Smith has revealed a reason behind his feud with Cooper Cronk, which you guys seemed interested in earlier.
Yeah, they obviously
very good
teammates.
teammates once upon a time, and
The rivalry got heated up when Cooper went to the Roosters. Yeah,
Yeah, but actually, apparently, it got heated just before that.
really, that
And-
might have led to it.
Yeah, so something about a wedding snub. Cameron Smith didn't get invited to Cronk's
No, he
wedding.
got invited. He didn't attend.
Oh,
So that's
Oh,
why
probably
Cooper
had
Cronk
something
was
on.
here.
yeah.
No one likes going to weddings anyway. Really, do you like going to weddings?
What
I've
is
never
like
been to
literally what?
What?
Yeah. I'm
Man.
only 13.
Have you guys
Yeah.
ever been to an Indian wedding?
I can't say I have.
Man,
no.
it's literally the most fun that you'll ever have in your life.
Yeah, I'm not a wedding guy.
I love it.
I'm keen for weddings.
You are? Yeah, you just want the free alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's pretty shit, I guess.
Yeah.
Unless you got a legitimate reason.
Yeah, I agree.
People have feuded.
But we don't know. What do we know?
Yeah.
We don't know the reason why. But that's the feud, and they've held it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They'll make up one day when
I-
they're old guys and they get over this sort of shit.
Pretty sure they've made up already.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Dhiren knows everything that's going on.
Yeah.
What do you reckon Cameron Smith's going to do? He still hasn't announced what he's doing next season.
Yeah, but Joshua Adokar has staying with the Storm for one more season.
Good on him.
The Fox is staying.
He went well the other night in the State of Origin too. Did he see how many tries did he score the other night?
2, I think.
Yeah. Storm boy, Musashi boy.
Yeah.
Nice. What else?
Some more gossip.
Gossip. This is obviously Dhiren. Dhiren loves the gossip.
Yeah, I love
just
this.
had some. Yeah, that's why you guys keep suggesting these articles.
What?
An Aussie tennis star has appeared in a TV star's OnlyFans.
Yeah.
OnlyFans account. Who's the Aussie tennis star?
Bernard Tomic.
Oh, the bad boy. Bad boy of
OnlyFans.
Australian tennis.
OnlyFans returns.
We get a lot of bad boys in Australian tennis, don't we?
Yeah.
Why is he on? He must be desperate. Career?
No, I think it's just his girlfriend. She was
Ah.
just posting. You know, her name's Vanessa. Sierra.
Yeah, she's some sort of model. And she's got an OnlyFans account. And what? He makes an appearance in that.
Yeah, it's like biting her ass or something.
Oh, really?
But she was on Love Island.
Was she?
Yeah.
Right.
All right. I don't know. I might have to do a bit more research into this topic. I'm not.
I'll leave you two to go there.
All right, mate. We got some real news going.
Yeah, okay, real sport. That was real sports news.
Sure, mate. Argentina has defeated the All Blacks for the first time in history.
Wow. I
Yeah.
watched it.
Goes to show you how rubbish Australia are then.
Well, Australia beat the All Blacks last week as
I
well.
know.
So,
Yeah, true.
back-to-back losses for the All Blacks, something we haven't seen for...
What's going on there
Since
then? What's
2011.
why? Why is their success rate lower now than what it has been over the past, whatever,
Well, it's kind of
3,000 years?
a bit of the changing of the guard, A lot of the old players have now moved on, and it's this younger team, bit of experimentation going on.
What do you want to bring back, Richie McCaw or something? Or?
Yeah. Well, not just Richie McCoy, there's
I know.
a few players out there that, still yet to be proven in their positions in the All Blacks, but
Remember Big Jonah Lomu?
of course.
What a legend. Hal wouldn't even know who that
No
was.
idea.
What? Oh my God. He was the god of rugby at the time.
He was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Super marketable. But yeah, bit of a watch out for New Zealand rugby.
Yeah.
It's
But-
probably the only sport they follow over there. So if they don't have that, what else have they got to go for?
Well, I don't know. Maybe just
America's Cup.
bit of MMA happening, and
I know, MMA, they're bursting onto the scene over there.
I'm sad there's no rugby league international this year because the Kiwis have a pretty strong side. I reckon they'd give the Kangaroos a bit of a run.
Probably would.
But yeah, anyway,
Moment.
maybe it's the All Blacks getting worse, but maybe it's everybody else is getting better as well. So
I think it's the All Blacks getting worse, really.
yeah, Argentina, not to take anything away from Argentina, they've stepped their game up in recent years lately. So
Yeah, they must be on some wicked stuff. What do you get? What's good in Argentina?
I don't know.
Amphetamines and
No, Diego Maradona's been famous for some other drugs.
I know. What else you got, Hal?
An Aussie boxer has been robbed of the world title by a ludicrous ruling. Andrew Maloney was denied the super flyweight world title due to an umpire's ruling.
Well, they basically ruled the other fighter's eye closed up,
Yeah.
and they actually went back and reviewed the footage to try and find
Because the referee thought it was a headbutt.
head clash. Yeah, so they've gone back and they actually stopped the fight for close to 30 minutes, going back and reviewing footage to try and find where this head clash happened. But they've actually, I think they ruled the fight off as a no contest or something.
No contest.
But they've actually found the footage where the eye basically shut. It was from a jab.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this young Australian guy, this Aussie guy,
Andrew Maloney.
Andrew Maloney's been robbed of a world title because of a shitty decision.
Wow. And
Pretty shit.
boxing is kind of infamous for these decisions over the years,
Yeah.
but
So shady.
I just saw Joe Rogan tweet something about it, saying it's an absolute robbery.
I know everyone's been saying it's a robbery, so hopefully he gets they just run that one back and do it all over again.
Yeah.
That's sports news. Let's run through some game picks.
Game picks.
So from the most recent podcast, we had a State of Origin where Ross won with Queensland.
Yes.
Game 1. In the cricket, Pakistan,
Game 2. Yeah.
Pakistan versus Zimbabwe. Ross again with Pakistan.
Wow.
I don't know why I picked Zimbabwe.
Uriah Hall versus Anderson
never win
Silva
anything.
in the UFC. Ross again with Uriah Hall.
Via vicious
I don't know
knockout.
why I picked Anderson Silva.
In Juventus versus Barcelona, Ross fourth time won with Barcelona.
No Ronaldo for Juventus. I'll just put that out there.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. And in the final game, in Dodgers versus Rays, in Game 6 of the World Series, you both took the Dodgers. So Ross had picked every correct team.
Clean sweep.
Wow.
Didn't you get a clean sweep last time, though?
I did. What are the chances?
I know.
I need to stop picking with my heart and start picking with my head.
Yeah, you got to pick with your head.
I wouldn't call it a sweep because that would insinuate that the other person got everything wrong, which wasn't correct.
I got one right, the Dodgers. So
You both got a draw both times. But Dhiren, time to pay the piper, mate.
okay, so
Today, protein coffee.
nice,
It's a new product.
nice
I'm
new
not
product.
I'm not going to keep talking about products. We've talked enough about products.
I like this protein coffee. I've been having it a lot.
Yeah, what do you actually have it in the morning as a coffee, don't you?
Yeah, so you can have it hot or cold. I've just been adding boiling water to it, having it nice and hot.
Tastes so good.
Never had it as a dry powder though, so here we go.
Well, here we go.
What a nice heap spoonful from you.
A
mate.
heaps. I've got a small mouth.
And then you have to say the alphabet straight after you have it.
What?
Mm.
Okay, let's go.
Should dissolve fairly well, this powder, because you're basically stirring this one, aren't you?
Mm.
Tell us about how we developed it to stir instead of in a shaker.
It actually dissolves quite nicely.
Yeah.
Let's go through.
Good product. Protein,
It was surprisingly
MCT.
good. Yeah.
Good coffee replacement.
You know, most protein powders stick everywhere in your mouth because the main protein source in here is collagen. It's dissolved quite easily.
120 milligrams of caffeine, about a coffee and a half. Guarana, MCT, good fats, collagen, peptides, protein. Good product, that one. How's it taste? Dry
Oh,
powder.
I love it.
I think we'd have to find something else. How these dry powder challenges with our products, and maybe we do it with competitors. No, okay. They're too enjoyable.
I know. We'll have to start doing a high protein bar challenges.
Yeah. Maybe we'll start using some chili sauce or something.
Ooh, we should do like a hot wing challenge or something.
Oh, yeah.
If you have any
If you-
suggestions,
I'm very
for what-
keen for a challenge.
I'm keen for the chili challenge.
If any of our listeners have any suggestions,
Yeah.
what the losers should have to do,
Put it in the comments on YouTube or on
Man.
DM us on Instagram.
It was
There's some-
delicious.
yeah,
Like usually protein powder, you can't have the dry.
it's real
'cause it-
sticky.
Yeah,
And,
this was actually
I
so
might have
good.
some of that.
well,
too.
that's it's
Okay,
not. How he's not losing then, is he?
Picks for the next podcast.
Right, fire away the game. So let's pick
Okay, State of Origin Game 3 on in Wednesday 18th.
Brisbane in front of a 50,000 crowd. I'm going to go Queensland.
Queensland, yeah, they allowed a full capacity at Suncorp.
Yeah,
So we both got Queensland.
I have to support our boy Musashi athlete Cameron Munster coming back hopefully from a little head knock. Hopefully he's doing all right.
Yeah, he actually passed the HIA head injury assessment.
So
during
why
the
didn't
game.
they let him back out?
I think just erring on the side of caution because
Yeah.
there's a bit of criticism from game on. But
They needed him, but whether it makes a difference, game 2 was a bit of a drubbing, wasn't it?
I've always supported Queensland, but now I live in New South Wales.
So who are you going to go for?
Queensland,
That's both of us Queensland. Next game.
because you know the Warriors a few Warriors players used to play back in the day.
Okay, in the UFC 255, we have the female card, Valentina Shevchenko versus
You did well,
Jennifer Mayer.
Jennifer Meyer.
Yeah, I'm going Shevchenko.
I'm going Shevchenko all the way.
Bullet Shevchenko, she's too good.
Unbeatable.
Nice. EPL, Tottenham versus Man City on Sunday 22nd.
Man City.
I'm going to go with Tottenham. Yeah, Tottenham's looking good this season. In fact, I'm going to go with Tottenham to win the Premier League this season.
Shit.
Are you Tottenham in disguise? In the cricket, we have Australia versus India, Thursday 27th.
Ooh. Who
Yeah.
you going here?
Game 1, ODI.
I'm going to go Australia.
I'm going to go India, you know.
Sticking to your roots, both of you.
Yes.
Yeah, should be interesting. Pretty strong Indian team coming along, but it's always
It's here in
good.
Australia, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
And
Yeah.
Home soil.
Kohli's not here for the whole series though. He's going back for the birth of his child.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's huge for Australia.
Yeah. Well, he's here for the ODI. It's just not for all the tests.
okay.
So yeah.
Nice.
We should get out to a game.
Yeah. Definitely.
Let's do it.
Why not?
Yeah.
Done.
And final pick is Rafael Nadal versus Dominic Thiem, Tuesday 17th in the tennis.
I like Nadal.
What's that tomorrow?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm going to go Nadal as well.
Both
Yeah.
going Nadal.
I like
Okay.
Nadal's OCD when he serves.
He's got this little routine that he does,
Yeah.
doesn't he?
Pinch the shirt, play with the nose, pinch the ears, tap the racket on the heels, and then he serves.
They all have some little like weird things that they do.
Yeah. Like Djokovic bounces the ball a million times.
Leighton Hewitt was bad for this.
Yeah.
With that playing with the shirt, it's like a nervous, like tension sort of twitch. that
But
they
actually,
get.
I read something about superstition in sport, and it actually gives you a bit of a psychological benefit.
Well, they've got
Like
this,
Tiger Woods in his red shirts,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do actually go through the same routine, like the same thing when they're serving.
It's
So
repetition.
It is repetition.
It's the same when you're shooting a free throw. in
Free throw,
basketball.
yeah.
They always either to spin it or bounce with either hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same when you're squatting. And
You would do the same in powerlifting. I've seen your routines.
yeah. So
Slap yourself in the face.
Yeah.
Go punch a spectator.
Headbutt the
Scream in
mirror,
Headbutt the mirror.
and then I squat.
There's no real superstitions in jiu-jitsu. We just
Just don't get choked out.
we slap fists, slap hands, bump fists, and away we go. Don't get choked out. That's it.
So the main differences here are Tottenham and versus Mad City and
Australia versus India.
versus India.
Oh yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Maybe a scoop of hot sauce for the next one.
Done.
I've got a few good sauces at home.
Easy. Bring the hottest sauce you've got.
I don't think you want that.
I do.
Let's do it.
I don't think you can handle this heat.
You have to do it right at the end. in
Let's
case you
get-
get out.
We should just do a hot sauce challenge, the three of us. Next episode,
Let's
get a few hot sauces on some spoons and we'll work our way up and see who dips out first.
Okay.
You reckon?
Okay. I can eat hotter than any other human being I've ever met.
Dip out after
Okay,
one.
cut that. What was that? I can eat hotter
Write
than
it down.
any other human being ever met. Let's go.
Okay,
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Mate, I can eat a zinger burger.
Hey, I can eat salt water.
I remember a zinger burger, they used to be considered hot. You can barely taste the spice these days.
I could literally eat the lava of a volcano.
What is
until
that? There's a Hot Wings YouTube show, isn't there? Or
Hot ones, yeah.
Hot Ones, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, got Shaq and.
We've got everyone,
Oh.
heaps of people.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So,
All right, sports picks. What else? Listener questions.
Listener questions first.
Here we go. These are getting better every week.
Thank you. I've been doing my research.
Okay.
Reached out to Maurice Thatch, who asks, how long does it take from when you start exercising in the gym or on the treadmill until you see and feel an improvement?
Oh, good question. About that long. That's how long it takes?
What?
That's the
Yeah.
broadest question ever.
I'm going to say you feel an improvement instantly. You feel an improvement in your mood straight
Yeah.
away after doing any kind of exercise. And, if you're trying to get better at something, the improvements will come quick,
Yeah.
especially if you're just starting.
Yeah, we talked about that in the hormone podcast, like the instant sort of hormone release you get. But improvements, I mean, if it's your first, like you first start training, you're going to see improvements within 2 to 3 weeks, I reckon. You're going to probably already notice some sort of muscle tissue increase.
Yeah.
2 to 3 weeks of, it depends what you're doing with your diet as
Then you
well.
have to do it consistently.
If you're looking for a before and after photo, just try something like 2 weeks and 4 weeks, and you'll notice a difference.
Yeah, it doesn't take that long.
Yeah.
Especially if you've never trained before, the results will come a lot quicker.
Nice. I'll be sure to tell Maurice. He's one of my mates in basketball.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Tell Maurice not to be so broad with his questions.
I kind of stuck the microphone in his face.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Nice.
Oscar Anderson from Instagram asks, if you know you won't get the chance to eat for a while after you work out, can you compensate by eating more immediately before you work out?
Well, this is an interesting question, and I think we've talked about it quite a bit. But if you bring your mind back to the pyramid, which we talk about in every single episode,
Timing.
the base of the pyramid is your total calorie intake.
Yep.
Above that, your macro intake, then micronutrients, then timing. So if you get your total protein intake correct for the day, like total grams of protein, it means a lot more than timing specific quantities of protein before and after your workout. So
True.
depending on when you can fit that protein in, if you can't fit it in after your workout, any other time is okay as long as you're hitting that total daily protein intake.
Okay. What about carbs that you've just burn up all of your sort of stored carbohydrates within your workout?
You want to replenish some glycogen? Well,
Can you eat those beforehand? The additional ones? No.
You can eat it beforehand, but it's not going to have the same glycogen replenishing effect.
Yeah. So from a protein perspective, the amount of grams per day or whatever over a week is important.
Yeah.
But carbs post-workout is important, I guess, depending on what your goal is.
If you're looking for the optimal time to consume your nutrients, then yes, there is a benefit post-workout for carbs and protein.
And when we say post-workout eating food, it's not straight after. Like you don't need to eat straight. You don't need to walk out of the gym, go home and cook a steak and rice and whatever it is that you eat to be a hardcore bodybuilder.
Pancakes.
It's like
Pancakes.
an hour or two after.
Hour or two after is fine.
Yeah.
And it's quite rare that people train and then need to train again that day as well. If they do, then that might become important as far as getting that meal in quickly after. But even quickly, to me, is like an hour and a half.
Yeah. So
go with a shake, then wait another hour and a half, and then eat.
Yeah, so the anabolic window is that people talk about. It's about 2 hours after training. But, immediately after training, there are some benefits. So
Sure.
try and get as soon as you can eat after workout for optimal results.
Yep. So,
Cool.
you can't really forcefully load up before a workout on carbs. But
Sometimes.
did we even answer his question? Not really,
No.
sort of.
Mr. Anderson.
What else?
That's it for our listener questions. We have a mystery athlete quote.
Oh, yeah.
I've got it this week. Let's go.
Okay.
I only know like 5 athletes, I think, and they're all in fighting. Oh,
This one's
Hal's holding up his fist.
Oh.
So
you'll be able to tell. This is a bit of trash talk. I've seen George Foreman shadow boxing, and the shadow won.
Muhammad Ali.
Beat me to it.
As soon as you say George Foreman, those two had a bit of a rivalry. So
Yeah.
I need to give you guys
I love Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad
although
Ali
I-
has some awesome quotes.
Yeah, although I do use a George Foreman grill.
If Muhammad Ali had his own grill, whose would you choose?
I don't know. Can it knock out the fat like George Foreman?
George Foreman just kind of rolls off the tongue there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I had a George Foreman grill. Everything I tried to cook on it just stuck to it.
You got to know how to use it.
Oh, but I did like how the fat sort of drained down into like a little channel and then off. It did, knock out the fat.
Yeah.
But then your meat ended up like all real dry and shitty.
That's why you got to sometimes pre-cook the meat and just finish it off on the thing. But anyway.
Muhammad Ali,
Yeah.
the greatest. Was he the greatest? Do you reckon he was the greatest?
I think so.
Mike Tyson.
The greatest boxer of all time?
Well, depends if
Or the greatest athlete for what he stood for and what he represented? And
it's a complicated question,
if you're talking pure best boxer of all time,
Rocky Marciano retired undefeated.
it's Floyd Mayweather all day long. The guy barely got touched his whole career.
Floyd Mayweather's peak fights Muhammad Ali at his peak. We're talking combat sports. Bigger means something.
It does, but Muhammad Ali stood for a lot more.
Yeah. And, obviously he wasn't allowed to fight during the peak of his career as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, true.
Yeah. But yeah.
Legend. And have we got a
Musashi quote.
even bigger legend?
Yes.
Musashi quote.
The greatest boxer of all time.
He boxed with swords.
Yes. So, okay. The Musashi quote for the day is, polish your wisdom, learn public justice, distinguish between good and evil, study the way of different arts, one by one.
Repeat.
Polish your wisdom, learn public justice, distinguish between good and evil, study the ways of different arts, one by one. So, learn as much as you can. Learn about where whey protein comes from. A lot of people are focused on, maximizing their macros, maximizing their nutrients, and, not really thinking back to where the food comes from. And
It's such a stretch relating that to the topic.
He's good at relating it back to the topic, though.
Musashi didn't have any quotes about whey protein. But
he did. The way.
Yeah,
That's what he was referring to.
It's
True.
It is the way.
Yeah.
the way of walking alone. So
Musashi had some awesome quotes.
very, very awesome.
It was
quotes.
all about wisdom, expanding your knowledge, being open.
the greatest
learning.
athlete, the greatest warrior of all time.
There you go.
I think nobody can argue with that.
Why are you looking at those swords?
'Cause
You getting inspired to utilize them?
Different kind of athlete when you're fighting to the death.
Those are real swords sitting there too. Signed by Miyamoto Musashi. We got him to sign them.
Disclaimer: those are not Musashi swords.
His signature looks awful similar to yours, Ross.
Signature. Well, actually, there was a competition that we had on Instagram recently. A signed Rob Whittaker Reaper T-shirt. We're about to announce the winner on that. We've got another giveaway coming up. Matty Ryan, our Musashi athlete, Socceroos goalkeeper. We've got some signed gloves.
EPL Brighton Hove Albion goalie
Yep.
having a killer season. Last game clean sheet.
Yep. Coming up soon as well, we're going to have a signed Mitch Creek, Southeast Melbourne Phoenix jersey, their new jersey. And then we're gonna get a Cameron Munster signed Storm jersey to give away. Heaps of giveaways on Instagram, so follow us there.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I'm good.
We are out. Thanks for listening.
That's it.
Cheers.
Hope
See you
you
next
know-
time.
Hope you know the way. Musashi out.